So next thing I'm going to show you is how to find the APR, which is the annual percentage rate. So it's going to be basically converting the APR to EAR or vice versa. So this is a very common concept in time value money, and I'm going to show you how to do that on Excel. And right, so to start on Excel, let me move this somewhere. Maybe let it just stay here for a bit. Yeah. Okay, so just a brief introduction. Annual percentage rate is the quoted rate or the nominal rate. So if you go to borrow a loan somewhere, the rate that they will quote for you is the annual percentage rate, which is also which is abbreviated as APR, and it's always lower than the effective annual rate. Effective annual rate is the EAR. If you look at the EAR, so it's the effective annual rate, and by definition is the actual rate that you pay on the loan or the rate that you earned on an investment over a period of time. So it's different from the quoted rate. And then it's also known as the annual percentage yield or the APY. So if you see APY, know that it's the same as the EAR. And then it's always higher than the APR. That's important to keep in mind just for verification, especially if you're doing a calculation and you want to make sure that your answer is correct. So you are able to see which one is higher, and you know that the EAR is always higher than the APR. Okay, so I have a sample here of questions that we can cover, and it says find the APR or the stated rate in each of the following cases. So here we've been given the effective annual rate and the different compounding periods per year, and then this column here we need to figure out like what is the APR rate for each of them. On the right side, as you can see, I'm going to show you how to do that here on Excel. It's pretty simple, very straightforward. Okay, so here we have the effective annual rate. For the first case, we have the EAR is 14%. So we've been given EAR is 14%. I need to change, give it 1%. And number of times compounded, which means that the number of compounding periods per year. In this case, for the first one is semi-annually, which means it's compounded twice, or the interest is paid every 6 months, and we have like only 6 months in a year. All right, so this would be N. Let's say that's N. And then N would be 2 in that case for the first part because it's semi-annually and we have 2 semi-annual periods per year. And now we can find the APR because we have the EAR and the number of compounding periods. All right, so to find it on Excel, start with an equal sign and then type nom. And definitely you'll see that, as you can see here, we have the nominal rate, which is basically the annual percentage rate, which is the APR. So double click on the nominal, and then it's asking for the effective rate. So effective rate is this right here. So you click on the cell that has the EAR, and then a comma, and then N, which is the number of compounding periods per year, which is 2, and then just close the bracket and tap on enter, and you get that it's 13.54%. So this is the APR. And as you can see, we see that the APR here is lower than the EAR. So APR is always lower than the EAR. As you can see, to compare the two of them, you see that the EAR is 14% and the APR is 13.54. So APR is lower than 14%. So the first right here we'll have on this part right here we'll have the answer for the first part will be 13.54%. Okay. Next is let me put that. So this was A, which was the first one. Okay, for the second one, which is B, we've been given the effective annual rate as 9%, and it's compounded monthly. 9% EAR, compounded monthly, and as you know that we have 12 months in a year, so we know that N would be 12. So in this case, we have EAR, we have it as 9%. And then we have N, which is the number of compounding periods per year, is 12 because it's monthly. So we have 12 months in a year. APR is what we're looking for, which is the annual percentage rate, or the nominal rate, or the quoted rate. They mean the same thing. Okay, as you can see here, because the APR is the same as the nominal rate. All right, so we do the same thing, equal sign, norm, you start typing norm, and then this will come up, nominal, double click on it. Effective rate is 9%, so click on the cell that has 9%, comma, don't forget the comma, otherwise it will bring like an error, so remember to put the comma. And then n periods, which is the number of compounding periods a year, is 12, close the bracket and enter, and then change that as a percentage. So you just click here on the percentage icon here, and it changes for you 8.65. So 8.65 is our APR, or the answer for the second question. All right. I hope you're following so far. So for C, basically the same thing. It's 8%. No, we start with EAR. EAR is 8%. N is weekly. So it says weekly. Number of compounding periods, and we have approximately 52 weeks in a year. We can use that to find APR, which is what we're looking for, or the nominal rate. Then you do an equal sign, norm, and then nominal. We'll show the nominal function will come up. And then effective rate, click on the cell that has 8%, comma, and then N, which is the number of compounding periods per year, is 52, close the bracket, enter. And then you change that as a percentage, it becomes 7.70%. Okay, I'm going to move this somewhere here. Let me move it so it doesn't distract. Okay. To do the last example that we have here for calculation of the APR, we have EAR. Okay. EAR again is, which is the effective annual rate, is 13%. So the last part is 13% down here. Compounding periods per year, and is daily. So we have approximately 365 days in a year. So that's the number of times this rate is compounded. And then APR is what we're looking for. Start with that equal sign, norm, and then the nominal function will show up. And then effective rate, click on the cell that has EAR rate, comma, that's very important. And then N is number of periods per year, and then close the bracket and tap on enter on your keyboard, and then change that to a percentage. So as you can see, it's not something that is very difficult if you're doing it on Excel. It's pretty straightforward as long as you use the correct functions and you know what you're looking for, then it should be easy to solve. Okay, so I want to show you something again. I have to move this a little bit here. Let's see. I move it, let's say somewhere here. Yeah, sorry about that, because I just don't want you to block the view. All right. So what I want to do next is to reverse back and find these percentages, which are the EAR percentages given. But I want to show you how to do that using not financial calculator, but using the Excel function, that is. So right now I'm going to show you how to find the EAR. So we want to make sure that we're finding the same percentages given here. So we're assuming that we've been given the APR, and then we're now converting back to the EAR. So let me put this up here, and then label these as APR, actually no, EAR to APR. Yeah, because we are converting the effective annual rate to APR. So maybe I'll make that a different color to make it easy to identify. And yeah, and then this side, it will be from APR to EAR. Okay, so this is from APR to EAR. So assuming that We didn't have the 14%, 9%, 8%, and 13%, but we were given the APR, the answers that we just found right now. How do you convert back to EAR? So I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing that you want to do is that, assuming that you've been given the APR. So the APR for the first one, you'll be given as 13.54. So I'm just clicking on the cell that is right here. And then let's assume also that the number of compounding periods is given as here, which is semi-annually. So you've been given that as semi-annually, which means that we have 2 compounding periods per year. And now you want to find the EAR, which is the other way around. So you don't want to find the APR, but you want to find the EAR. And I'm showing you the answers that we should get will be equal to what we have here, what was originally given on the table. But I'm showing you how to find that. Okay, so now we want to find the EAR. How do we arrive at the 14%? Yeah, our answer should be equal to 14%, but I want to show you here how to find it on Excel. So what you do here, you put an equal sign, start with an equal sign, of course. When you want to enter any Excel function, start with an equal sign, and then type in EFF, which is effective annual rate. It will show up like this, which is returns on effective rate. So double click on the effect, and then it asks you for the nominal rate, which is the APR, because we say the APR is the same as the nominal rate. And then put a comma, and then N, which is number of periods per year, the compounding periods per year. Close the bracket and enter. So as you can see, we are getting 14%, which is the same as what we had initially. So if I'm decreasing the decimal points, it will be just 14%. I'm decreasing the decimal places, so it becomes 14%. Okay. For part B, we know that our answer is going to be 9%, but how do you find that if you're given an APR of 8.65? So we are doing it the other way around, which is we have the APR as our answer that we calculated before. And then we know the number of compounding periods here because it was monthly. So we still have 12 as our compounding periods per year. And then we're looking for the EAR. The answer should be 9%. But if you're finding it on Excel, start with an equal sign and then use the effective rate function, which is the effect. And then nominal rate, click on the cell that has 8.65, and then number of periods is 12. Close your parentheses and enter. As you can see, it's 9%. The answer is correct. It's 9%. Yeah, the whole number is just 9%, as you can see. All right, for C, we're also assuming that you've been given the APR as 7.70. So APR here would be 7.70%. Number of compounding per year, it's still weekly. Yeah, we know that our answer should be 8%. So if it's weekly, we have 52 weeks in a year, and would be 52. And then we are looking for EAR, which is the effective annual rate, equal sign, and then effective. Then you double click on the function because it shows up as effect, and then nominal 7.70 comma. Remember the comma, and then N is 52, and you get the answer 7.99. But if we change it to a whole number, it becomes 8.00, and then you can reduce the number of decimal places. So as you can see, 8% is the same as what we were given before. So 8% is correct for our EAR. And lastly, here, we're assuming we've been given an APR of 12.22%, and number of compounding periods will be daily. How do we find the 13%, which is the effective annual rate? Same thing as before, APR. I'm just clicking on the answer that we found, which is 12.22, because that 22, because you're assuming that that is the rate, the APR that you've been given. And then N, number of compounding periods per year is daily. So we have 365 days in a year. That helps us to find the EAR, which is effective annual rate, with an equal sign, effective, and the function shows up. Nominal rate, click on 12.22%, and is 365. Close the parentheses and enter. Change that to a percentage by clicking on the percentage icon, and then we can reduce the decimal places, right, like that. We get 13% here, and then you see that is the same as 13% that was given initially. If we are to convert all these to one decimal place, all of them to one decimal place, like we just click on here. They should not be the same. We want to make sure that it's actually two decimal places so that it shows the difference. Yeah. So that's basically it. That's how you do it on Microsoft Excel. So check out my tutoring website if you want one-on-one tutoring website. It's on verytutors.com. I'll put a link on the screen at some point. And then if you would like to have one-on-one sessions, I'd be happy to help you in to master your finance course and other questions that you may have. So yeah, bye.